Ja, Jaka John. Do 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 do. Dragon Ball is back in our lives. Woo! Yo, what's going up, everybody? It is your boy Fitzbug TV here, aka G133. Hope you guys are doing well and staying healthy. I am back here today with your full review for Dragon Ball Daima Episode 1. I just got done watching the episode, so I just want to let you guys know the reaction for that episode will be out in the next couple of days. All right, it takes me about a day to get these edited because I can, copyright. I got to make sure, that we don't have any copyright content and that we don't get any copyright strikes. So depending on when you guys are watching this, Daima reactions will be 1 to 2 days after every single episode. But you guys can expect almost every Friday to get a review, unless something else is going on. The review could get delayed. But expect reviews every Friday after episodes, sometime in the afternoon or evening, and then reactions will be sometime during the weekend, either Saturdays or Sundays, depending on how long it takes me to get them uploaded. Edited and all that. But we're talking Dragon Ball Daima Episode 1, and I'll be honest with you guys, I loved it. First things first, it is so good to have weekly Dragon Ball anime back. Really, in case you didn't, because I want to put this in perspective, right? In case you didn't grow up in like the 90s, right, when Dragon Ball was on, the 80s and 90s when Dragon Ball was on in Japan, or in the 90s here in America, right? And then I was born in 99, right? So DBZ was already finished by then, right? But I grew up, I was introduced to Dragon Ball in the early 2000s. I played all the video games growing up, and I fell in love with the show. It's my favorite show ever. It's not just my favorite anime, it's my favorite show ever. And when Dragon Ball Super got announced in 2015, that meant something to me because I got to experience what people that were alive when Dragon Ball first was introduced in the 80s and 90s, to get weekly episodes. That was the thing. Whether you like Dragon Ball Super or not, right? I loved Super. For sure, the first part of Super was rough, but once they got into it, with the Universe 6, Universe 7 tournament arc, ever since then, Dragon Ball Super has been pretty damn good to me. It'll never be on the level, of course, of DBZ in terms of, stakes and, crazy storytelling. But still, I love Dragon Ball. I love almost everything about it. And during Dragon Ball Super's, I think it was like a 3-year anime run, right? 3 years where we got those 130 episodes. Remember, that's impressive, right? 52 weeks a year, almost every week we got Dragon Ball Super episodes. And during that time, just to have something to look forward to every single Saturday night, something to talk about here on the channel, it was just fun. And that's been missing. Ever since Dragon Ball Super ended, crazy to believe it, it's already been 6 years since Dragon Ball Super ended. 6 years already, which is well over half a decade. And, we've gotten video games, right? With Sparking Zero that just came out. You guys have seen the videos on the channel. Go check out my Sparking Zero content if you guys have it already. But, we've been getting, video games and the movies, right? We've gotten 2 movies in the last 3 years. And then, of course, there are rumors that a new Dragon Ball Super a new Dragon Ball Super animated movie could be coming out in 2025 or 2026. They might be making that announcement at Jump Fiesta, so cross our fingers. But, we haven't been getting that type of content, in 6 years. It's been 6 years since we've had a weekly Dragon Ball anime on the air with new episodes. And, now here we are with Daima. So no matter, whether you're hyped about Daima or not, just to have weekly Dragon Ball back on our TV screens now every week for however long the show's going to go, it's something to be really excited about, right? And I am beyond stoked for this series. I know, of course, when Daima was first announced, right, I had my suspicions, right? Goku and the others being turned back into kids, right? It feeling a little bit like GT. But now, especially after that first episode, I don't care. I'm hyped. The production level, the quality that we got out of this first episode, and knowing that we're going to get that for every single episode in this series is super exciting, right? And, of course, the cherry on top is us knowing that this was Toriyama's final project. We know that if he was, able to stay alive, there would have been more shows and more projects and more movies, and it'll be up to Tortaro and um Ayoku and the Dragon Ball Room staff and or the Capsule Corp company. It'll be on them to continue the series with more movies and animes, as the years go on. But knowing that this was the last thing that Toriyama worked on and how heavily he was involved with this show, it's just something to be super excited about, whether you're hyped for Daima or not. Just if you're a fan of Dragon Ball and out of respect for Toriyama, I think every Dragon Ball fan should give Daima a chance. The like I said, the animation in this episode was perfection. I've never seen Dragon Ball look this good in normal animation. Remember, this was not animated like the superhero movie with the 3D animation. It was normal 2D, and it was freaking phenomenal. Dragon Ball has never looked this good. I thought we would never see Dragon Ball look as good as it did in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I love what Shitani did with those designs. That's the reason why he did all of that work on Sparking Zero with the designs there. But this might top it. Honestly, the way the characters look, man, the animation was prestige. Every single second of it was prestige. Of course, my favorite part was probably the beginning. Like, my two favorite parts of the episode were the beginning, where they kind of give you a recap of Dragon Ball, right? They recap, and that's, of course, for new people that might be new to the Dragon Ball franchise or just new to the show, right? They give you a quick recap. They go through Goku's journey from him as a kid through Dragon Ball and also through Z. And the animation of Frieza, Raditz, Cell, and Kid Buu, incredible. And then they show you like Super Saiyan Goku explaining like, even through all the battles he's had so far, he continues to, get stronger every single day to fight more villains and protect the planet Earth, right? They also explain that, of course, Goku's Saiyans stay in their young state till their 80s, right? So that allows them to fight for a very long time. So I love that. And my second favorite part of the episode was the Goku versus Vegeta fight. Of course, just having the choreography for that was incredible. It was about a minute and a half, and it was great. And I would say my third favorite part was the Majin Buu saga recap, which is about the first 10 minutes of this episode. But yeah, the animation was great. The music, it's like a mix of like serious vibes and then, of course, that adventure type music. And as the show goes on, I feel we're going to get, some bangers of OSTs. But getting into the episode itself, like I said, the first 10 minutes is just a recap. It's like a recap of the events of Dragon Ball. And then we see Goma and Degresu, who is the Daikaiosen, right, of the Demon Realm, who is revealed to be the brother of Supreme Kai from Universe 7. It's revealed they basically re-watched the events of the Buu saga. So it gives you a recap because this show takes place very, very shortly after the end of the Buu saga, right? Because they're celebrating Trunks' 9th birthday. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But yeah, so it's a recap of the Buu saga, and the animation is incredible. Literally, like, it's not just pictures. It's an actual, 10-minute recap of the Buu saga. Everything from, Dabura and Babidi, their first appearance, to, Fat Buu being revived, all the way to Goku killing Kid Buu. You basically get a recap of everything, right? So basically, Goma, who has taken over since Dabura was killed by Buu, right? Goma has taken over, and he is the new king of the Demon Realm, right? And then basically he's explaining basically they're trying to understand how was Dabura defeated. One thing that's very fascinating to note is that Dabura talks about not Dabura, Goma talks about how they see Goku and Vegeta fighting, and they're like, what's this? Like, they can fire energy or magic from their hands, right? And they can get strong. So to them, it's like they don't have these types of things. So that's one thing to pick up on. They don't have, I guess, people in the Demon Realm that can, fire energy from their hands. They called it magic in this show. And I was like, wait a minute, this ain't the Morarch, baby. But basically, that is one thing to note. There's a lot of things in the normal timeline that they don't have in the Demon Realm. So that's going to be interesting once Goku and the others get into the Demon Realm. And then, of course, we have, the fights start taking place and all that good stuff. But But yeah, uh, but they after that they learn how the Deborah is dead, Bobity's dead, right? And Boo, and so there's basically nobody. Well, Boo's not dead. Well, Kid Boo is, but remember, Fat Boo's alive. But basically, it's like, oh, there's nobody left in the demon realm to challenge them, right? So it's like, okay, um, so basically, Goma's like, "Oh, I'm the new king." All of a sudden, Orenzu appears. So basically, it's revealed that Orenzu is the Orenzu is. So it's revealed that Orenzu is the older sister of Degazu, the Daikaio-shin, which makes her the older sister to the Supreme Kai. So we get some cool lore building here, and basically Orenzu basically tells Goma like, oh, Deborah used to fund my research projects, right? So basically, she just wants to make sure that's going to continue now with Goma as the king. Goma's like, I don't know. We'll see, right? And you can kind of get the vibe that really Goma and Degasu, right, or none of the characters from the Demon Realm that were introduced in this episode, none of them really seem like bad guys. None of them do right now, right? I love it. You could see like as Goma was watching the Buu Saga and seeing like how Babidi and Dobor were defeated, you could see kind of like his eyes are literally like popping out of his head, which was pretty cool, right? Um, but then yeah, um, but then after that, basically, Orenzu says, "Okay, well, you better watch your back. Like, what if Goku and the others come here? What if they want to take you out, right?" And then that kind of scares Goma, which kind of leads to the main plot of the show, right? Goma then asks Degasu, like, "Is that true? Like, is there a chance that?" These guys are gonna come to the demon realm, right, and trying to take me out, just like they did the Babidi and Deborah. And Degasu's like, I don't see why they would do that. Like they don't have any reason to come to the demon realm. But instead, basically Goma, because in the recap they see the Dragon Balls, right? And we learned that there are Dragon Balls in the demon realm, but they're protected by this group called the Tegatsu. The Tegatsu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name right, but it's basically like these big like bots, right? And they're kind of scary looking. So Goma actually gets kind of terrified. Remember, he's the king of the demon realm, but he's kind of scared to try to get the Dragon Balls from them because they have like the Dragon Balls like sitting in their chest or in their stomach, right? So then, what happens is, Goma decides, oh, all right, let's go to the Dragon Balls of the Earth, right? And basically, they say they're gonna make two wishes. The first wish is gonna be to make the Goku and the gang kids. So, because by making them kids, it should make them weaker. We'll see that if that's actually true. Because remember, we've seen in the trailers Goku can still use his Super Saiyan forms, but Goma believes that this will make them weaker, right? And that will, keep them from interfering with any plans that Goma has, and will make them not want to come into Demon Realm, right? And the second wish is that he's gonna make a wish to have an evil third eye. I don't know that that's similar to like Tien's third eye, but I guess this like evil third eye is supposed to give them immense power. So that's also something to keep in mind for a future episode because that could mean stuff once Goku and the others get into the demon realm. All right. So then after that, we see as they're leaving the demon realm, we get introduced to Neva, right? Neva is an old Namekian who created the Dragon Balls of the Demon Realm. And it looks like there's only 3 Dragon Balls, because there's like 3 Temagetsus. And basically Neva, he has this very old, like very weird sus look. Kind of like if you guys remember the old guy from Family Guy who's like, always trying to, get in with the younger men and women in that show. The one that has like an addiction with Chris, right? If you guys remember that guy, that's the look that Neva has on his face. He has this very old, old man look about him, and it's weird and creepy, right? And he walks very very slow. Right, but Goma basically makes him a promise, like, "Hey, you help us, with the Dragon Balls on Earth. I will extend your life by 1,000 years." There's also a lot of they also have that classic Toriyama comedy where basically there's a joke where Neva says, "Oh, I haven't showered in like years, ever since like I fell into some mud, right?" So and Goma's like, you smell like crap. You know, you haven't showered in years, you know? But it's funny, like right as they're leaving, you know, Neva's like, "Oh, we're going to the outside world? Let me go grab my toothbrush." So it's like, wait a minute, you don't shower at all. You don't take care of your hygiene, but yet you want a toothbrush all of a sudden? It's pretty funny. Um so then after that, right, we get back into it. And then they go to Earth, and then we see that Trunks is having his ninth birthday party, right? And then it's revealed to us that Krillin makes a joke like, "Damn, you're short for being 9 years old." And Trunks fires back. He's like, "Well, you're not that very tall either," you know. So we're getting a couple digs here, and then after that, uh basically Goku lets them know that Saiyans don't go on their, you know, kind of like their what's it called, their puberty. They don't get their what's their height peak. I forget what it's called. Their growth spurt. That's what it's called. Yeah, they, you know, Saiyans don't get their growth spurt till right around 15, and that makes sense because that's when Goku made his growth spurt back in Dragon Ball. So that explains it. And if you guys can already see the correlation to Dragon Ball Super, because remember the events of the end of the Buu saga, which Diamond takes place very very closely right after the Buu saga. Those events take place right after the Buu saga, and the end of Dragon Ball Z takes place 7 years after that, right? That's where Goku meets Oob. So you guys remember, now we're in the superhero arc. In the superhero arc, that's where Trunks and Goten get their growth spurt. So basically, if you think, if you do the math, 6 years after the Buu saga is when the superhero movie is, and that makes sense because we know that the superhero movie takes place right before the end of Z. Like, you know, it's very very close. We don't know the specific time, but we know it's very very close to the end of Z. So there you have it. So it's funny. And then after we learn that, Goku makes a joke at Vegeta, like, "Hey, Vegeta's not that tall." So there you have it. And Vegeta's like, "Oh, you want to start something?" So then right after that, Goku Vegeta go off the train. And basically it's, you know, this classic Goku and Vegeta. They're always sparring, right? You can see Bulma and Krillin are like, "Oh, there they go, doing their normal." And basically it's just them in their base forms. One thing to note, you know, Goku's gi, he's not wearing like his normal symbol. He's wearing his classic orange and blue jumpsuit, but it doesn't have his classic symbol on it. But the animation here, you know, it's about a 90-second fight, but it's really really good. The choreography it's classic Dragon Ball. So you're gonna be getting, you know, that classic Dragon Ball Z choreography here in this series. So nothing to worry about there. The fights will be different, of course, because, you know, Goku is a kid and he'll have to learn how to use like the power pole again and all that. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You can see the fight choreography. It has that classic Dragon Ball vibe. So nothing to worry about there. But yeah, so we see Goku and Vegeta. They go kind of close to space, and Vegeta fires a Galick Gun, and Goku fires off a Kamehameha. They get into a beam struggle. Goku decides, you know, to leave the beam struggle early, and then hits Vegeta with a punch. But then we see right that second, Goma and them get to the lookout, right where Dende and Mr. Popo are. Right, they introduce themselves, and then they say from the Demon Realm, and Neva says, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen a Namekian in like 30 years, right? Or not 30 years, just in you know, over, you know, hundreds, thousands of years. Neva is very, very old." And then he also confirms that, or Goma confirms that Namekians and Mr. Popo are both from the Demon Realm. So we get some more lore here. So we've always, if you guys look in Dragon Ball, throughout the history of Dragon Ball, they've also always explained that the Namekians have a very complicated history. They didn't span, you know, their origin isn't from planet Namek. They actually come from different corners of the universe, and we've seen that with, you know, we've seen a lot of different Namekians over the year, no matter if it was Kami or Neva or, you know, the Grand Elder. I'm forgetting the name of the Namekian from the Granola saga. the one that lives with Granola. I'm forgetting his name. But there's many different, Namekians. They all come from different places, right? Um, and then we learn, basically that Neva he created the Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm. But the reason why Goma wants to use the Earth's Dragon Balls is because he's scared of the Teragensu, the ones that are guarding the Dragon Balls. So basically, Dende's like, oh, I can't bring the Dragon Balls here, even if I wanted to. They've been turned to stone. Which tells you once again that this is very close to the end of the Buu saga, right? Because the Dragon Balls are still stone. So then, Neva uses his power basically to bring the Dragon Balls to the Lookout, right? So from all 7 corners of the world, he brings the Dragon Balls back to the Lookout. Then he's able to shorten the time that the Dragon Balls are turned to stone, so they're active once again. And then he brings Shenron. It's funny, right before Degusu brings Shenron out, then he tries to stop him, but then Degusu hits him with an elbow like, what, is there a problem? And then Mr. Popo's like, no, I just wanted to see if you had some juice, which is like one of the funniest parts of this episode. I laughed my ass off when I heard that. Do you have some juice? Oh, friggin' hilarious. So then right after that, the Z fighters noticed that the skies went dark. Like, what's going on? They mentioned, I think it was Yamcha and Bulma mentioned that, oh, it's only been like the time between last time when they used the Dragon Balls at the end of the Buu saga, and now, not enough time has passed for Shenron to once again to be active, right? So then that's when Goma makes the wish to turn everybody into kids. And at first Shenron's like, oh, so how, like, what age do you want to like turn them to? And he decides, let's go with first grade. So basically around like, let's make them 6-7 years old. That's usually when you're in first grade. And then for the ones that are already kids now, like Goten and Trunks, let's turn them into babies. So there you go. And basically the episode ends with all the Z fighters crying out in horror as they get turned into kids. Goku, Vegeta, we see Krillin and Bulma, right? All of a sudden, you can see like Bulma like breaks a glass because like her hands are no longer big enough to hold the glass. She's not, which is funny. And that's how the episode ends. And then we get the ending, which like introduces like the intro song, Ja, Jaka Ja. Na 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 na. It's a catchy song. It really is. I can't wait to see the full intro, like the actual intro for the show. Hopefully next week for episode 2. And then we get a very very short. It's like a 5-second preview. It's just Glorio making his way to Earth, right? And basically, I guess that's when they get introduced to Glorio, and that's when they find out what happened. So things will start to be put in order for Goku and the others to make their way to the Demon Realm. One quick note, one thing I didn't mention also is that Goma, before they travel to Earth, Goma mentioned something about like the black star wishes, or white wishes and their black star wishes. I don't know much about this, but this was kind of like a clear, reference to Dragon Ball GT. This is kind of like Toriyama's, taking events that happened in GT and then making his own story about it. So clearly the second he said black star wishes, I was like, oh no, the Black Star Dragon Balls, like, come on, right? The Goku and the others being turned back into kids, now black star wishes. It becomes more like Toriyama's GT every single day. But either way, that was it. So that's the episode right there. And like I said, this is a very good episode. It's a great reintroduction to Dragon Ball. You get everything. You get a mix of comedy. You get really, funny stuff going on. The animation is beautiful. It's the best Dragon Ball's ever looked, right? And it's only episode 1. Just imagine when we get into, deeper into the show, man, how good the show's gonna look. The OST is amazing. The fight between Goku and Vegeta, it's fun, and out of that, it's a good show. It's a good episode. So it gets me hyped. It does get me hyped for the future of Daima, and where we are going with this show, man. But yeah, good stuff. Really, really good stuff. And really, to me, it's just like if you weren't hyped about Daima, this episode to tell you that this show is gonna be okay. You may not like Goku and the others being kids. Trust me, I didn't like Goku being turned into a kid in GT. I'm more open to it now because it's not just him. It's like the whole cast, right? So Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, they're all being turned into kids here. So that tells me like, okay, I can deal with that a little bit more, right? And it's exciting. It's exciting. And just based off this episode, I am hyped. The fact that we have weekly Dragon Ball back, it is something to be excited about and happy about. So now, like Fridays, every Friday, you're gonna wake up and be like, we got a Daima episode today. Let's go. So next episode, we're gonna get to see how Goku and the others react to now being turned into kids. So that's gonna be interesting. And then things will start to be put in motion as our heroes probably get ready to go to the Demon Realm. I can definitely see, and we'll probably do like a spoiler discussion video later in the week, but I can definitely see Goku and the others heading to the Demon Realm at the end of episode 2, right? Like episode 1, the beginning of episode 1 or the beginning of next episode is them, of course, reacting to being turned back into kids, right? And then, them going to the lookout, talking to Dende because like the Dragon Balls were used, and then Glorio making his appearance, right, and kind of explaining to them the situation. But yeah, one thing that is interesting, since the wish was made with the Dragon Balls, some people are gonna say, "Oh, is it possible for Goku and the others just to make a wish with Shenron, and be brought back to their normal adult state?" Well, the thing is, there's the explanation. The Dragon Balls are gonna be turned back to stone, right? They're gonna make Goma's making the wish. He's made his wish, right? The Dragon Balls will be turned back into stone, so the gang won't be able to use the Earth Dragon Balls to just turn themselves back into kids. So Goku and the others are gonna have to go to the Demon Realm, right, to use the Demon Realm's Dragon Balls to turn themselves back into their adult forms. But so yeah. I wonder also if they'll bring it up, like, what if Goku and the others just want the Namek and use Namek's Dragon Balls? We'll see if that gets brought up. I don't really have an explanation for that right now, but like I said, we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. But either way, man, like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited for this show. Episode 1, it ended with a good start. We are off to a good start here with Dragon Ball Daima, and I'm excited to see where the future takes us with this show. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But other than that, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of Dragon Ball Daima episode 1. Did you guys enjoy? What was your favorite part? And like I said, this is gonna be your home for all things Daima. Spoiler videos, reactions, reviews, discussion. All that's going to be here on the channel every single week. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe so you guys are notified every time I go live with a new Daima video. I will be back here with some more Daima. Like I said, the reaction, depending on when you guys are watching this, the Dragon Ball Daima episode 1 reaction will be out in the next couple days. So depending on when you guys are watching this, the episode reaction might already be on the channel. So make sure to check that out once it is live. Make sure, like I said, subscribe if you guys are new and hit that bell for all notifications so you guys are notified every time we go with a Daima review. So I will see, or a Daima video in general. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys later. Stay safe and healthy, y'all. Till then, Jaka John. I'll see you guys later, man. Peace.